The ratings are in for this week's edition of AEW Dynamite on TBS. Mercedes Mone announces her belated divorce. Matt Cardona makes his return to TNA during last night's episode of TNA Impact. Mustafa Ali announces he will not be seeking re-election in the TNA Wrestling X division. Samy Gavara officially returns to AEW/Ring of Honor during last night's Ring of Honor on Honor Club. WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry's son announces he's been signed by WWE. Trent Beretta announces he has undergone neck fusion surgery. And Stone Cold Steve Austin teases an appearance at WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas next year. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off with the ratings for this week's edition of AEW Dynamite on TBS. And as has been the case with pretty much all pro wrestling programming, whether it be Raw, NXT, Dynamite, SmackDown, Collision, etc., they're all affected by the ongoing Olympic coverage. The July 31st edition of AEW Dynamite witnessed a significant decline in overall viewership and ratings, with it being the second lowest viewership for Dynamite on Wednesday nights. As per WrestleNomics, viewership for this week's show reduced by a whopping 23% from last week's show, as 609,000 viewers tuned in to watch. The episode of Dynamite also performed poorly when compared to the trailing full-week average, with a 20% decrease in that metric. The key 18 to 49 demographic saw an even bigger decrease from the previous week, as it only got a rating of a 0.18, which is less than the 0.26 from last week's show, a 31% reduction, and was also lesser than the trailing full-week average of a 0.25. Now, as I mentioned, pro wrestling viewership has dropped by a huge margin this past week, with both SmackDown and Raw on the WWE side of things seeing a decline in viewership due to competition from the Olympics in France. Now, as the quarter-hour ratings go, these come courtesy of WrestleNomics, so shout out to them and be sure to subscribe to their Patreon service. You can see the quarter-hour ratings right there, not painting a pretty picture for AEW Dynamite. This week's Dynamite began with a segment featuring MJF and Will Ospreay, followed by a match between Ospreay and Lance Archer. The first quarter hour garnered a viewership of 656,000 viewers, which was the highest for the show, with the next highest being the 9 to 9:15 p.m. quarter hour, where Bryan Danielson and AEW World Champion Swerve Strickland had a promo segment, as well as Danielson's interaction with Jeff Jarrett, which registered 645,000 viewers. The final quarter hour of the show was the match between Hangman Adam Page and Darby Allin, where viewership dropped to 590,000, with the 5-minute overrun garnering 617,000 viewers. So what are your thoughts when it comes to the ratings this week for AEW Dynamite? Is there much to look into, or is this just a case of across pro wrestling, because of the Olympic coverage, everything is beginning to suffer? Let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below. Now, a bit of an update when it comes to Mercedes Mone. There had been rumours circulating on social media that have now been confirmed by the AEW TBS champion. AEW star Mercedes Mone has announced that she has filed for divorce from her husband, Sarath Ton, who works in WWE as a costume designer. Mone recently made the announcement on her YouTube channel, revealing that she will be signing her divorce papers and is happy to be free. She stated that she and Ton separated back in December 2020 and had kept the separation a secret. Quote, "Tomorrow, finally, after a long time, I'll be finally signing my divorce papers. I'm excited, happy, and for me, I'm just ready to be free. I'm ready to be free of not being afraid, and for so long, I've kept this secret because of how fast life has been going, and so much has been happening, and wrestling and everything. I just didn't want the outside world to judge or say anything, especially during the time when all of this was happening," said Mone. The current AEW TBS champion seems to be on good terms with her ex-husband, highlighting how he helped change her life. She said, quote, "But, you know, I'm getting a divorce, and Sarath, my ex-husband now, we have such a great relationship, and he's such an amazing, incredible guy that I'm so thankful for. He's another person that changed and saved my life," end quote. Mone added that the news about her separation was kept a secret because she had important projects going on at the time, which included shooting for The Mandalorian and getting ready to main event WrestleMania 37 with Bianca Belair. She was afraid that Vince McMahon might pull the plug or put her in a different storyline, which is why she and Ton decided not to tell anyone about their decision to separate. Mone had previously explained why she kept her marriage to Ton a secret too, following their wedding in 2016. Now, shifting over to TNA Wrestling and a bit of an update from last night's edition of TNA Impact, and Matt Cardona is back. Matt Cardona returned to TNA Wrestling on the August 1st episode of TNA Impact, crashing the wedding between PCO and Steph DeLander. Cardona hit PCO with a cinder block, and while he thought he was doing Steph a favor, she was not pleased with his actions. Cardona tried to leave with Steph, but she did not go with him. Now, Cardona originally returned to TNA back in March, but suffered a torn pec in April, putting a pause on his return. He was aligned with Steph DeLander when he returned in March. Cardona has continued to make convention and independent appearances while injured, notably acting as the GCW general manager. Now, along with Cardona, AJ Francis and Rich Swann tried to crash the wedding, but were less successful. Rhino served as the best man, whilst Xia Brookside was the maid of honor. So what do you make of Matt Cardona's return? Where do you think this one's going next? Let me know your thoughts about that in the comment section below. Mustafa Ali, he is standing down. Mustafa Ali posted a new statement saying he will not be seeking re-election, and that is in the best interest of his party and the X Division for him to stand down. He will not be speaking to the nation about his decision. He said, quote, "My fellow citizens of TNA, over the past 6 months we have made great progress as a company. Today, TNA has the strongest fan base in the world. We've made historic investments in rebuilding our X Division, in lowering the number of senior citizens on our roster, and in expanding affordable tickets to a record number of fans worldwide. We've provided critically needed entertainment to millions, passed the first limits rule for the X Division in 22 years, featured the X Division Championship on the cover of Pro Wrestling Illustrated for the first time since 2006. Appointed the first Pakistani Indian American as champion. Main evented record-breaking attendance shows TNA has never been better positioned to lead than we are today. I know none of this could have been done without you, the citizens of TNA. Together we overcame unfit and unfair leaders, we've protected and preserved our X Division, and we've revitalized and strengthened our alliances with promotions all around the world. It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as your X Division champion, and while it has been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the X Division for me to stand down and focus solely on fulfilling my independent obligations for the remainder of my term. I will not speak to the nation later this week in more detail about my decision. For now, let me express my deepest gratitude to all those who have worked so hard to see me re-elected. I want to thank Campaign Singh for being an extraordinary campaign manager in all of his work, and let me express my heartfelt appreciation to the citizens of TNA for the faith and trust you have placed in me. I believe today what I always have, that there is nothing that TNA can't do when we do it together. We just have to remember we are TNA. Of course, Ali lost the X Division Championship to Speedball Mike Bailey at TNA Slammiversary. Ali faced TNA World Champion Nick Nemeth on Thursday's edition of Impact, with Nemeth retaining the title. Now, Sammy Gavara officially is now back in AEW/Ring of Honor. Sammy Gavara has returned. He returned to television on the August 1st episode of Ring of Honor on Honor Club, saving Dustin Rhodes during a beatdown by the Dark Order, that being Alex Reynolds, John Silver, and Evil Uno. Sammy ran off the Dark Order and then offered his hand to Dustin. Dustin hesitated at first, but shook Sammy's hand to close the show. Before being attacked by the Dark Order, Dustin spoke about his journey thus far and said he wanted to keep going as long as he could, wanting to elevate the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team titles and more. Evil Uno interrupted, calling Dustin selfish for wanting more and saying he's only in this position because of his name. Gavara hasn't wrestled or been on television since the February 24th episode of AEW Collision, where he lost a no disqualification match to Powerhouse Hobbs. Now, it had been recently reported that he would be back, or there had been discussions to bring back to TV soon, and now indeed Gavara has returned. Now, Mark Henry, WWE Hall of Famer, his son is now signed to WWE. WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry's son, Jacob Henry, has been signed to WWE. Jacob made the announcement during Mark's DJ set at the Remix Rumble event in Cleveland, Ohio. Quote, "The crowd is out here tonight. You seem pretty lively. I think it's time for people to know. For those who don't know, I'll tell you what's going on in my life. I am a collegiate wrestler at the University of Oklahoma, but some big news that will come out in the next couple of days." Crowd starts chanting NXT. "I think you guys should be the first to know that I'm going to be a future superstar, and it's been put on paper. I have officially signed a deal with the WWE," Jacob said. Now, Jacob had signed with the University of Oklahoma wrestling team at the start of the year and has also played football and been involved in track and field sports. Jacob seems to be a chip off the old block as he showcased his impressive strength last year when he squatted 610 pounds. The WWE legend has previously claimed a few years ago that his son was determined to join the NFL. With both father and son currently in Cleveland ahead of SummerSlam this weekend, it remains to be seen if the announcement will be made at the Premium Live event on Saturday. The senior Henry's contract with AEW recently expired, and he has already been featured in an A&E documentary as part of a WWE deal. Now, Trent Beretta, a bit of an injury update on Trent. Now, it was recently reported that AEW star Trent Beretta was out of action with an injury, with him not competing since his match with Orange Cassidy back at AEW Double or Nothing back in May. Trent recently betrayed his best friend partners Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy and aligned with the Don Callis family, but it seems it may be a little while longer until we see him back again on AEW TV. Taking to social media, Trent provided an update on his injury, revealing that he recently underwent neck fusion surgery. He wrote, quote, "Quick little American neck surgery. Turns out I wrestled so hard that 2 of the screws from my neck fusion broke. Very cool, very tough. Screws have been replaced. Next, I will be doing revenge." Of course, we wish him the best, and hopefully he has a full recovery. And finally, Stone Cold Steve Austin could be at WrestleMania next year. WWE Hall of Famer Stone Cold Steve Austin had commented on a potential appearance at WrestleMania 41. The Texas Rattlesnake surprised many in 2022 when he made his in-ring return against Kevin Owens at WrestleMania 38 after 2 decades away from the ring. Since then, there has been a lot of speculation about Austin's potential involvement with future WrestleMania events. Speaking with The Athletic, Austin hinted that there's a chance he could make an appearance at WrestleMania 41 next year, noting, quote, "I said I won't leave Nevada. It's hard to get me out of this state. But WrestleMania next year is in Vegas. That's in Nevada." Of course, WrestleMania 41 will take place across April 19 and 20, 2025 at the Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. Interestingly, Austin's former WWE rival The Rock made his in-ring return at WrestleMania 40 in April. During the first night of action, The Rock teamed with Roman Reigns to defeat Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins in the tag team main event. Cody Rhodes won the undisputed WWE Championship from Roman Reigns on the following night's show, ending Reigns' 1,316-day run as the champion. But there you go, guys. Latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash the like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.